Huge warning from Chase, guys. This could be the end of the greenback. Strikes are going to hit the supply chain. We got a lot to cover. Now, if you guys remember, I've been talking about potential cracks in the commercial real estate sector. And if you're an investor, this is probably something that you need to be aware of. I mean, banks, they're already preparing for the repercussions of this happening. And while this all sounds bad, it could also open up some significant opportunities for many of us to make money, given that you've been working hard on cleaning up debt, right? Well, this wealth transfer is how JP Morgan Chase became the largest bank in the US. But let's start with diversification and just how important it is right now. And this holds true if you got money in the bank that's more than $250,000. Now, this isn't a knock on the banks. The reality is this is the amount that is the highest amount that is insured by the FDIC by default. But this isn't financial advice. This is more like logic. All right, so think about this for a minute, right? Do you foresee any of the big banks like JP Morgan getting in trouble? And I'm talking about trouble that would actually warrant them closing down, all right? None of you think that way, right? That's right. They're not going away anytime soon, but their stocks could drop. So no, I'm not suggesting that you close your JP Morgan Chase account and withdraw all your funds. No, I'm definitely not saying that at all. But you gotta wonder why so many countries are abandoning the US dollar. Now, you may not believe me, but the wealth transfer during the bad times, it's actually normal. And it's when people like you and me can really make some serious cash, as we're gonna be seeing bank shares go down while everybody else is panicking and selling. And it's easy to see the panic when you hear news like this. Like, check this out. $78 billion exited the banking system within July 5th to July 12th, as Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase's CEO, has issued a warning on deposit flight. And that's just a day over 1 week, folks. So how crazy is that money is exiting the banking system that quickly? Now, it also says that there was a huge surge during the second quarter for banks, but I need you guys to understand that, those second quarter profits are due to these banks getting assets so easily at a low price because of all of the banks that collapsed during the spring. So just so it's clear, right? You gotta wonder where people are moving their money to. And if I had one guess, I would probably say that some of them are investing in gold. Why? Well, because the BRICS nations, they have been basically steadily growing over the past few years. And one of their goals is to dethrone the US dollar as the global reserve currency. I'm not telling you guys that this is gonna happen today, tomorrow, even a year from now. But believe me when I say that, the more countries that sign up for them, the stronger that they become and the more that goal becomes a reality. I mean, we're already aware that the BRICS plan to develop a gold-backed currency. And if you're not, well, you really need to get updated on this because, this could very well lead to the United States heading toward hyperinflation. Because who else will receive all of those dollars that will come back flooding in from all those different nations? Look at what Heritage Foundation economist E.J. Antony said about this. Now, according to him, if America fails to fund its deficits, 70 years of deficits could flood the U.S. economy. Now, just imagine what that would do to the United States. It would absolutely crush the dollar. Now, in the same light, the way our lives may be changing drastically, and it's not going to be changing for the better. Now, before any comments talk about doom and gloom, these are the things that are actually happening, guys. It's real. Now, if you want sunshine and roses, this probably isn't for you. But if you want the truth and the actual information that could help you out, then go ahead and smash the like button now and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now, moving on to another very, very important topic. Do you guys know anything about Yellow? One of the biggest trucking companies in our country with around 30,000 workers, with around 22,000 of them being drivers. And if I asked you about the state of shipments in our country, what would you guys say about that? Now, some would say that it's weak. Trucks are not bringing in as much. The supply chain's in a rut. And yes, that's probably all true. And this is exactly why Yellow is saying that they may be forced to bankruptcy, as the Teamster Union is now set to carry out strikes that will cripple the already struggling company. Now, we are embarking upon a Yellow versus the Teamster situation here. The problem is that Yellow cannot afford to pay them more. So this could easily lead to the worst case scenario where, again, just like I said, Yellow files for bankruptcy. And folks, this is bad news for all of us. Some of you guys are probably wondering, what is Ron talking about right now, right? Who is this company and why should we even care? Well, here's the thing, guys. There are many things that happen behind the scenes that we don't necessarily see day to day. Do you guys think that those car parts that you ordered and need just magically pop up at your local shop? Or how about your groceries and necessities? Does Walmart or Target just have a portal where supplies just hand themselves through and employees just straight up fill the shelves? These trucks, they keep our economy moving. And most of the things that we need at home, they're probably transported through them as well. And sure, there's other trucking services like UPS and FedEx, but were you guys aware that UPS is also in talks with their workers and a strike is also imminent?
A strike, it could become the most expensive massive strike here in the U.S. in a century. Contract negotiations over a new contract stalled between UPS and the Teamsters Union. An analysis from think tank Anderson Economic Group says economic losses from just a 10-day work stoppage could total more than $7 billion. That's $7 billion with a B. The report also says customer losses could hit $4 billion, and worker lost wages could total more than $1 billion.
So the problem, according to UPS workers, is the extreme heat that they work in, and it's no joke. Some of these people, they have actually died due to this, and a lot of them are suffering from heat stroke. UPS, on the other hand, they're trying to work with Teamster, and they've actually agreed to equip all of their new delivery trucks with air conditioners starting next year, together with heat shields and fans. Now, it's beyond me for why they didn't come with air conditioning systems to begin with, but I digress. And of course, somebody's going to say, well, Amazon drivers, they'll still be moving if both Yellow and UPS stop operations. Well, newsflash, guys. Amazon drivers are also holding strikes due to poor working conditions.
Amazon workers hit the picket line Friday morning in Pontiac outside the fulfillment center. They're frustrated.
We're all fed up. It's gotten to this point. It's been boiling up for about 2 years now. It's gotten to the point where we're about to erupt, as you can see now.
Nick White, an associate at the Amazon fulfillment center in Pontiac.
Amazon sells this place as a career, but our fellow co-workers shouldn't have to DoorDash, they shouldn't have to Uber, they shouldn't have to do all these side gigs in order to make ends meet. They shouldn't have to rely on overtime in order to get their rent and bills paid.
We're not getting the respect. That's why we're here today. We shouldn't have to work 2 jobs just to support our families. We should be able to make a fair wage.
The main problem for their drivers is that Amazon and their 275,000 drivers are hired through 3,000 third-party subcontractors, meaning that Amazon can cancel contracts in a snap with little to no explanation even needed. Now, you can either agree or you could disagree with the idea of unions, but know that this is happening regardless of your stance on unions. This is the reality of the situation, and this will for sure impact our supply chain. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys to go ahead and run out and buy 100 pieces of canned goods. That would be insane, but some people are already doing that. But to prepare, that may not necessarily be the worst thing in the world either. Now, you might say, Ron, I'm not a prepper. I don't know how to make all of this food last for months. And of course, I understand. I'm actually in the same boat. But there are items out there that will last for years in a can so long as you keep it in room temperature. Stuff that you can easily buy and forget about. So here's one thing that you should keep in mind. And this is for anybody who has a pet. Don't forget to prepare for your pets too. These little jokers running around the house, they depend on us. So as you stock up your food in your household and your medicine, stock up, house necessities. Don't forget about the same thing for your little furry family members, right? You gotta understand the impact that these strikes are actually gonna have on us and everyone around us, even our pets. So knowing all this information, what do you guys plan to do now? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before I go, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support. I really appreciate that. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below.